In every single lifetime, I choose to be black. I would never want to be any other race than to be black. However, I just pray in the next lifetime that I could live in a place where being black is not so hard. Where it's not so hard, where I don't have people and systems that I don't even think about, that I don't even know exist. Their sole existence is to make my life a living hell. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Because I don't get why we are the target. Why? Like, what did we do? I'm trying so hard not to cry right now. I really am. And I know that I usually make my content, it's very emotional. It's filled with passion because I speak from the heart. But right now, I'm not going to hold you. I'm dead ass sad. Like, I'm dead ass fucking sad, bro. Like, I just read an article where an African-American woman is facing 10 years. She's facing 10 years in jail. Why? Because the SNAP benefits that she has, that's not even fucking enough for her. It's not even fucking enough for her, right? She took it, went to the store, bought ingredients, and sold baked goods. And now they're trying to say that because she did that, she used the SNAP benefits for profit. And now she's facing 10 years. Mind you, the only reason why she's doing that shit is so she could stretch out the fucking aid that's not even fucking aid, because it's barely anything. It's barely anything. It's barely anything. Bro, that shit pissed me. We live in a country that's helping everybody else before they help their people at home. And then if they're going to help their people at home, they specifically make sure to not help black people. They make sure to not help black people. And every time black people figure out a way, they figure out a way to just fucking survive. You have this fucking system. This system going out of its way to tear us down. They go out of their way to tear us down. I don't want to be here no more. And then the motherfuckers in this country have the nerve to look you in your face and say it's not about race. Are you stupid? The only reason why we're even dealing with all of the shit that we're dealing right now is because of your fucking racism. Y'all fucking racism. Your racism and your bigotry. Look at the state of this fucking country. And y'all not even fighting the man that's putting us all through this shit. Y'all are still kissing his ass. Y'all are still kissing his ass. He just took 20 billion of our dollars and gave it to a fucking country because of their economy. And our economy is fucking plummeting. It's plummeting. You have people that have to do shit like this. They have to take the aid that this country makes you go, jump through fucking hurdles to get just a little bit of fucking help. And it's still not even a fucking enough. Where people have to figure out ways to stretch that shit. And then when they figure out a way to do it, this government, because they're so fucking greedy. They're so fucking greedy. They want to punish you. They want to punish you and they want to make it a fucking public thing so that everybody else doesn't get the idea of figuring out a way to move past the fucking system that is designed for everybody to fucking suffer in. And it's only like that because of you white motherfuckers and your racism. I hate this fucking country, bro.
A lot of people do not understand what we Africans go through in America. A lot of people do not understand what we Africans go through in America. We fight two fights. The black Americans, the African Americans, they fight one fight, being black in America. We Africans, we fight being black in America. And we fight being Africans in America. Two different kind of fights. And no, it's not a diss to African Americans. It's a fact. The media has always painted Africa black. The media has never shown anything good about Africa. So a lot of Americans have bad image about Africa. So when they see Africans, they start looking down on us. Even in workplaces, they give us the lowest job in the book. They give us the lowest job in the book, and they still think that they're doing us a favor because they have this image that in Africa we don't have nothing. That we barely survive, we barely eat, we barely do this, we barely do that. So when they give us all this, the shittiest job in the book, they still think they're doing us a favor. They think we have no education. They think we don't have this, we don't have that. Until you start to show them your skills and knowledge, they start to wonder. They start to wonder. Some of them get mad and jealous when you start to outperform them in the workplaces. And with their mentality about Africa, they start to wonder where did they get all these skills and knowledge to outperform them. Some of them start looking for dirt, start finding a way to make you look bad. But one thing they don't know about us Africans is that when we do a job, we do it good. So when they start looking for dirt, it always backfires. And I love to watch it backfire and hit them on the forehead. I love that shit. They believe the media about Africa than Africans who from Africa about Africa. They believe that we do not have no good education. And you know the funny thing about that? They standardize our education in Africa. They standardize our educational system in Africa. But when we get a degree from Africa and bring it to the West, to America, they don't acknowledge it. So we're back to square one. That's why a lot of us from Africa start all over here in America, going to schools and all that, because they don't acknowledge or recognize the ones that we got from Africa, even though they standardized it. You see how hard that is? And we still go through all these things and still come out on top. So some people think that we are being treated differently than other black folks. No, we are not. It's the other way around. And some of them that think that we have these skills and knowledge because we went to schools in America. That without the schools in America that we attended, we wouldn't have these skills and knowledge and experience in some of the things that we do. But that's not true. A lot of us don't go to school here in America. We still ride with the skills and knowledge we got from Africa. All we do here in America every day is to prove them wrong. Each and every freaking day. All we do here is to prove them wrong. That's what we do here in America. Prove them wrong every day. And it's a sad thing to do. Because everyone you come across have this bad image about us. What we're going to do about it? Prove them wrong. That's all we keep doing. Prove them wrong. We smile a lot. Have you asked yourself, why do Africans smile a lot? We smile a lot because that's how we survived. That's how we survived colonization. That's how we survived tribulations. That's how we fooled our enemies. They don't know what we're thinking. Even when they're looking down on us, we'll be smiling. But they don't know we can see everything they're thinking. But we ain't gonna tell them. There's one thing about us, just a little secret. I just told you. Have you ever wondered why whenever you see Africans, they're smiling? Even when they're suffering, they're smiling. Have you asked yourself, why is that? Because that's how we survive. You will know when we're in pain and when we are not. Think twice when you think that we Africans here in America are having it good. I hope after today you know we do not. We are walking times two than any other race in America to make it in America. We Africans are working times two harder than any other race, any other group of people in America.
I think the hardest pill to swallow as a black girl is that no one is coming to save you. Whenever you're put in an uncomfortable position or someone has disrespected you or you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, absolutely no one is going to defend you. Maybe if you're lucky, another black girl, but besides that, they will all sit and watch you suffer. All the performative allyship, all the sisterhood, not even, other black men, none of those fake alliances matter when you are on the chopping block. And I think this is an especially hard pill to swallow because we are always everyone's superwoman. That's why people say, oh, if you're in trouble, find a black woman. Because we are always so ready and so eager and so willing to help. You don't even have to ask us. We will come to your aid every single time. But I think we have to stop. We have to stop because we will run ourselves into the ground and get into really bad situations trying to help other people out who would never, ever, ever, ever do the same for you if the roles were reversed. Protect your peace and keep taking up space, but from another black girl to another one, I'm sorry.
Honestly, I don't want to say it's hard, right? But the thing is, we go through a lot. We go through a whole lot, and we will still choose here. We will still choose being this anytime, any day, in any of the lifetimes we're opportuned to be here. I feel so sad when I see people feeling this way. I don't know, maybe it's because I am not in a white dominated area, right? But then I can feel the pain. It's so hard too, right? I want you to watch these videos. Every single clip of this video is wow. I took time to actually get these videos for you so you can watch. And then when you're done watching it, I'll be back. I'll be back with the commentary. You will enjoy it. Please kindly watch to the end and subscribe, like, and share these videos. I'll be back.
So one thing that gets really hard about being a black person in America is like constantly finding out that people just hate you and you don't know why. Like you're never really given a reason. You're just like, hey, this person hates black people. Recently, Hulk Hogan died. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And then, of course, all this stuff comes out about how racist he was. It's like, oh, okay. I remember Dr. Seuss died. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I was a huge Dr. Seuss fan. Dr. Seuss truly, truly inspired me. And then I found out he died, and that really sucked. And this one actually hurt my feelings. But Dr. Seuss was extremely racist. And then you watch Taken, and I like Liam Neeson, and then you see a video of him saying some really racist stuff. You know, then a Republican president gets elected, and you're like, hey, this Republican president is actually really, really racist. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Well, I hope we get a Democratic president. And then we get a Democratic president, and they're like, oh, well, this guy's also really, really racist. And then, like, growing up as a black person, you live your life wondering, like, why do y'all hate us so much? Like, what did we do? Like, what is it about black people as a whole that you just hate? Like, I don't get it. Like, off the top of my head, I could name 100 different racist things that white people have done to me specifically and to my family. And I don't hate white people. I was involved with this white girl when I was in college, and things were great. And then she started crying and telling me that we had to end this thing because if her stepfather found out that she was involved with a black dude, that he would disown her. Like, his hate for black people was so strong that he would disown his own daughter just for dating one. And I don't have the capacity to hate white people. I don't have the capacity to hate anybody. But growing up black is just a lifelong journey of finding out that everything is racist and that everybody just hates black people and you just can't figure out why.
Imagine being so tired. And I'm not talking about tired. I'm not sleepy. I'm talking about I'm tired. One of the hardest things to do in this world is be black. It's so hard. It's so hard being black. Imagine being a single mom. You didn't ask to be a single mom. The pain of being a single mom, having no choice but to be on welfare. Because if you don't, you won't make it. And imagine just working and trying and you can never get above. I'm not crying because I want sympathy. I'm not crying because I want attention. I'm crying because I'm in pain. And it's a pain that I don't think anybody understands. You look around at other cultures and they love each other and they support each other. And you look at us and we hate each other. We hate ourselves. Our children struggle real bad. They grow up in homes with a stressed out, mentally overwhelmed, depressed mother. And the cycle just keep on going. The cycle just keep repeating itself. We are broken. Our kids should not have to grow up without their fathers. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And there's nothing wrong with their fathers. Nothing wrong except they don't value themselves. They don't value family. And they wonder why. These laws keep changing. They don't want us to keep making babies. Why? So they can support them. So they can take care of them. The government. It's not the government trying to take care of these kids. It's so sad. It's so sad. Imagine all the single moms, they don't want nothing but enough money to take care of their kids. The daddies won't watch them. They can't afford daycare. Send them to school. It's a problem at school. They can't work enough hours. And even when they do work enough hours, the bills outweigh the money. They still don't have enough. Imagine a single mom that's working and still can't pay her bills. Do you know how that feels? It's not funny.
Okay, I think I figured out why Harmony and people is calling Black Americans cowards and carrying on because we not out there in the streets. They thought that we had no self-control. That's what they thought. They thought that when we was doing all that stuff, like in 2020 and Ferguson and Baltimore and stuff like that, and LA riots and stuff like that, it was just because we, they were so easily provoked that as soon as somebody do something to one of us, we don't have any strategy, we don't have any type of thought process. We just go like an attack dog. They thought that we had no self-control, and us deciding to sit out and being all on one accord and being strategic and not reacting is showing a level of self-control that they did not realize that we had. They thought they didn't know about us. They thought that we are messing up their perception of us. They are having a crisis about our identity, about Black Americans' identity. Everybody is. Immigrants are having a crisis about our identity. White folks is having a crisis about our identity. They thought that they could count on us. They thought they knew us. And they never knew us because they didn't know our motivations. They didn't know what we were doing. They just saw the effects and they heard what the media said and they took it and ran with it. So even the people that was like, oh, we support you, this and that, the other thing, they thought that we were, justified, but they also thought we were uncontrollable. Because that's why they'd be like, be peaceful when you go out there. I know you got to go out there, but do it like this. Like, they think they treat us like we're children, like we are feral, unruly children. And now that we are showing them that we knew what we was doing the whole time. But now that we are showing them now, we're good. You go ahead and do that. They can't handle it. They can't handle it because it's messing up what they thought they knew about Black Americans. This whole year has been a mind fuck for them. Between us sitting out, between us delineating, we're really showing them in real time who we are. But we always knew, what they say, if you don't know, now you know.
Hello, TikTok community. It is Erin Jones, Afro educator, coming to you on this Saturday afternoon. I am outside the nursing home. I visited my dad. I've been over to the hospital to visit my friend Mike and his wife Lorraine. I am wrestling with so many emotions, and maybe you all are feeling something similar. There's just so much happening right now. As I was leaving the hospital, I ran into two different people that I know in community who both have parents that are in the hospital right now and not doing great. So those of us in our 50s, 60s are navigating, watching all the events that are happening around the world, but also navigating our own stuff. And it's complicated. To be more specific, though, in the last couple days, there are some things that just haven't made sense to me. Number one, the numbers and people comparing the assassination of Charlie Kirk to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. First of all, Charlie Kirk hated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So what that tells me is you actually don't know very much about who Charlie Kirk was, if that's the comparison you want to make. Number two, do you know who was targeted after the assassination, before they knew who the culprit was? Black students. Historically Black colleges, I believe 7 of them were sent death threats and had to be on lockdown. Black student unions at different state colleges were sent death threats. Black people were threatened because of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As if we had anything to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He was in Utah. Do you know who lives in Utah? Not a lot of Black people. And it definitely wasn't a Black person involved in his assassination. And yet we are the ones who were targeted. 3, And this one makes me pretty emotional, not for myself, but for my children. The numbers of Christian people elevating this man as a martyr for the Christian faith. You know, our family chat, our text thread blew up last night in a way that I haven't seen our kids use the text thread before. And they were upset because what they were seeing is their friends that they grew up with. My husband was a pastor in a predominantly white evangelical church for about 10 years and then in ministry for another 10 years. My children grew up in the church and are now watching people that they grew up with in the church elevate a man who said really horrible things about black people and trans people and queer people and poor people and trying to ask us to help them understand, wait, if you said this was Christianity to us growing up, we're supposed to love people, we're supposed to love our neighbors, we're supposed to not judge, then how is this the way that people who grew up around us are talking and thinking? Like, who are these people? And just the heartache that I can see in my own children. And I see that same heartache in some of my other friends who are Christian, who were in predominantly white evangelical churches. Many of my friends and I left those churches in 2020 because we saw and experienced that stuff back then. Some people are just coming to that now. You're just realizing now. And maybe you're asking this. This is what my kids are asking. Wow, have they always been this way? Did they just tolerate us? Did they see us as different than those other ones? And that is a painful realization to come to. And I think I came to that realization 5 or 6 years ago, and it was painful to realize, oh, you didn't see me like them. Till I started talking about race, I was a magical one. I was like you, I just had curly hair. But now that I'm talking about race, now I'm one of those bad ones. You know, I'm divisive and demonic, and my kids are just coming to that. Some of my friends are just coming to that now, and it's painful. It's taken me really 5 years to heal from that. And to realize that there's the physical church building, and then there's my faith. And here's the reality. I don't know that my husband has come back from this, from what we experienced in 2020 and 2021. I don't know that my husband, who has the Bible college degree, who was the pastor, has come back to a clear understanding of faith. He was so wounded by what he experienced from people that he had been around his entire life. He grew up in this particular church, in this community. For my children now to watch this play out with their generation is incredibly painful. So if that's you out there, and you're one of the black folks that was in a white evangelical church, or maybe you were adjacent to in some way, and you are now wondering, oh my gosh, have these people always been this way? Did I miss something? Was I that ignorant that I just didn't see? Here's the thing that I know. I was so determined to love people that I was willing to overlook this comment and that comment. And I really did believe we were supposed to love everyone. I really did believe that 20 years ago. I believed it 10 years ago. I believe it today. And so I think in my heart, I allowed some other things, some wonderings. I just didn't trust them. Here's the thing that I've been telling people in the last couple weeks that I really believe, and it's connected to this. I think for so many of us in church, we were taught to not trust that instinct, which I believe is actually the Spirit of God anyway. But we were taught to not trust that. When we suspected people felt a certain kind of way about us, we were taught, oh no, don't judge them. They just don't know better. Be kind. And so we didn't listen to that still small voice inside of us that said, oh, they're playing you. And now I know. And it's painful. And you can begin to think, am I that stupid? No, you just were told to not trust that thing. And now is the time for us to trust that thing. And what that means is when we begin to listen to that little voice inside of us again, we're going to be wrong sometimes. We're going to be wary of some people that maybe don't require us being wary of them. We're going to wonder sometimes, oh, maybe I don't go into that room instead of just going into the room, because our job is just to serve everybody everywhere. Protect your peace. And this little voice inside of you is going to let you know when it's time to say, nope, you don't get my time. Nope, I'm not going to explain that to you. You've been around me long enough. If you really cared, you would have done the learning. Trust that little voice inside of you. And for those of you that are really grieving right now, yep, we're all grieving. You are not alone. Okay, take care, y'all.
This Angel Reese situation shows why Black women have it harder than anybody on earth. I do not care. We have it harder than anybody on earth. Not only do we have to deal with racism from the world, racism, we have to deal with sexism. So not only am I dealing with racism, I'm dealing with sexism. And not only am I dealing with sexism, I'm dealing with racial biases from my own people because of my skin tone. Like, I feel like this Angel Reese situation, this Megan Thee Stallion, DDG, and Holly situation just points out what women have been saying, especially Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women have been saying for our entire lives. Only do we have to fight off racism, we have to fight off sexism from our men, and sometimes prejudiced behavior from our own men. Like, we're fighting everybody. Black women have no allies. We have no safe space. Who do you go to but another Black woman? And sometimes we don't even have that. Even with her successes, she's still having the Black woman experience. She's being smushed under the thumb of racism, and then she's being double smashed.
I remember years ago, I was working in the office, right, and we had a supervisor. There was like 4 or 5 people on shift. This woman was about in her 40s, and we all done our work, and one day she was like, oh, everybody's good, everything's good in the hood. You know, what would possess somebody to say that, right? Directly at me when she said that, and I was like, excuse me? And she was like, oh, well, you know, and I'm like, I've never heard that say. Well, I have, but I was like, I've never heard that saying in my life. Like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, you know, like from the movies. I'm like, I honestly never heard that saying in my life. Like, what does it actually mean? Like, and at this point, all the team members are watching and listening, bro. And she's still trying to double down. She's talking about, you know, from the hood. And I'm like, I never grew up in I did grow up in the trenches. It is what it is, isn't it? But she doesn't know that. She's not from the city. So I just said the most money area from my city. I was like, no, I grew up in St. Andrews. Like, my family's pretty well off. Wait, do you think I grew up in an impoverished background? Like, is that what you think of me? And she's like, oh no, Darnell, I think you're lovely. Like, I think you're a very lovely person. I thought that you would just watch those movies. I'm like, I'm more of a theater guy myself. Like, I really love musicals. Like, that's my type of vibe for real. Like, do you really feel that about me? For real? And then she just walked away, and no joke, after that, she did not speak to me. I'm talking about if we had shift together, it would be very minimal. See how I didn't have to shout, cuss nobody out, and still had my job? Sometimes when Black and in these corporate or jobs in general, you just have to play the game. If you play it right, their ignorance and their embarrassment will crush them for you.
But I hate being Black because I hate all the things that comes with being Black.
So I don't know who the person is who made that video, but it made me really sad. And whenever I hear Black people say things like, I hate being Black, it's heartbreaking because, you know, the reality of it is that, yes, it's hard being Black, not just in America, but anywhere in the world, right? Going out to restaurants, going out to movies, being a student, walking your dog. It's just hard. People are racist, people are white supremacists, so on and so forth. But the way that racism works is it wants you to hate yourself, hate your experiences, hate your existence, rather than the people doing the things to you to make your existence hard, right? So I just get really, really sad when I hear people say they hate being Black rather than take that energy and turn it on the people who are actually causing you the daily harm instead of yourself.
I'm going to be honest with y'all for a second. It can be so exhausting to be a Black girl. Like, we are very tired right now. Like, I know I spent all day yesterday trying to figure out what I was going to post for International Women's Day, and I was just too drained to do anything, so I just did nothing. And I know I've seen black girls everywhere talking about just how like drained they are and how tired they are. And like, we're asked to make content. So we put all this energy into making content and it doesn't go anywhere. We talk about how bad our mental health is and it's like nobody cares. We talk about all the racism we're experiencing and it's immediately invalidated, even though it's flooding all of our comment sections. And it's just so exhausting to be asked to give and give and give. And in return, we just constantly get dogged on. Like, I know I spent all afternoon yesterday crying because another black girl talked about how sad and how lonely she felt and just how she felt really abandoned and unheard. And it occurred to me, like, what is the point of us trying to put so much energy into saving the world if we're just going to be alone in it? I don't know. All I know is that a lot of black girls are very tired right now. So if you are a black girl, know that I love you. And if you're not a black girl, go tell her that you love her, because we need it.
It really pisses me off, but more importantly, it hurts my feelings when things happen to black women and y'all try to negate it or minimize it. But then when it happens to a non-black woman, then only then is it a big ass deal. Like, that shit makes me, it angers me, but it also makes me want to cry at the same time. That shit is not fair. Hood sat there and terrorized the whole damn villa and called the black girls the bullies. And even though we sat there and watched in real time, her being the actual bully, and everybody's like minimizing what she did, minimizing how she was the actual bully, just for her to turn around and do that shit to one of the Ortiz sisters. And only now is it like, oh, I see Hood's real colors. Like, what the fuck? Y'all in the comments talking about some, oh, I have to unfollow Hood. Like, watching that as a black girl, I'm looking at y'all like, that's where y'all draw the line? Because she had somebody remove somebody from a stream? That's what sent y'all over the edge? Not the other shit, not her coercing a black man into giving her sexual favors, like not her bullying a bunch of black women on a show, but because she got your favorite content creator kicked out of a stream, that's when y'all are like, oh, hell no. That's when y'all want to riot? Huda hasn't changed since she's been at the villa. She's the same bitch as she was in the villa, except this time she's going against non-black girls. And so now everybody's in an uproar. Like, that shit pisses me the fuck off, but like my feelings are hurt too, because black women do this shit, like go through this all the time. Like, no one gives a fuck when shit happens to black women, but when it happens to any other person, white man, black man, if it happens to, you know, white girl, Hispanic girl, only then is it an issue. Like, that shit's annoying.
One of the main reasons why black people tend to struggle when it comes to content creation, art, music, or any other genre you can think of is because black people are completely unrelatable to every other race. Despite the fact that black people at a time was forced to understand white people, we understood that we no longer wanted to relate to them, so we wanted to relate to ourselves. Because of this, black people as a majority is the only minority who only cares about relating to each other. We have our own culture, our own music, our own flag, our own history, hairstyles, TV shows, movies, style. Everything is uniquely to black people and the black community. Unlike other ethnicities and minorities, for example, especially when it comes to white people, they pander and relate to each other. Unfortunately, a lot of minorities and ethnicities want to relate to white people because not only they ascend closer to whiteness, but they have more relations to them. The more relatable you are to white people, the more likely you are to get those brand deals, to get more views, to make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off of everybody else. Because guess what? If you can bring in the white audience, you can bring in the money. Everything is centered with whiteness, especially with the neutral beauty standard of whiteness. Because of this, if you center yourself into whiteness, you gain the possibility of making more money, gaining more views, and getting more attention. As a black content creator, I spread awareness on this app. I have not gotten one brand deal. Not to put them on the chopping block, but Asians in general are the main minority that centers and panders towards whiteness. I've seen tons of Asians with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers getting that massive cash flow, getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views. And back to back, they're getting brand deals. And one of those reasons why is because they hold a lot of relation to those white people. And white people know that a lot of Asians also can be very relatable to them, so they will give them the brand deals. They will give them the attention and views because they can relate. They can relate to the makeup, they can relate to being the girly, they can relate to the style, the hair, everything you can possibly think of. They can relate to that. But if a black woman does it, it's a completely different conversation. I don't know what it is, but I see it more than enough times to where if a black woman does the same exact thing that the white girl did or an Asian girl did, the tone is completely different. And most of the time when I see a black woman do it, they do it 10 times better.
and yet they get less than half, if not half the amount of views that the white and Asian chick get. And that's not only just whiteness, it also focuses on beauty standards as well. It is not a secret that in the United States of America, when it comes to the center of whiteness and beauty standards, white and Asians are on top of that list. If you are a beautiful black woman, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to say that you are fake, you have a bunch of makeup, or you are AI. But if it's the other way around, they will instantly believe that that person actually exists. That's what they think, not realizing that black women are incredibly beautiful. Most of the black women I've ever met in my life was absolutely stunning. It also comes down to convincing as well. If you can convince another individual that a certain demographic of people is not attractive at all, they will find some way in their head to make sure you come off as unattractive. Because numerous amounts of people still believe that black people cannot be beautiful, that black women cannot be beautiful. And because they have this stereotypical mindset that is programmed inside their brains, they automatically go off that assumption. So it's relation, whiteness, stereotypes, and beauty standards. All 4 of these are very different and yet very similar towards one another. If you combine all these 4 attributes, you can create a perfect spear that is capable of piercing anything. Anything that can be pierced can be destroyed. And anything that can be destroyed can be completely dismantled and ruin the black people's wave. This is one of the many reasons why it's difficult for black people to get ahead, especially when it comes to black women with music, content creation, art, etc. Black men are no different in the matter either. I've seen plenty of black men on this account who are completely underrated, and yet they are so fabulous. They are a master at their craft. And yet all it takes is some random white guy to do it 10 times more mediocre than he did and get 30 times the amount of views. That being said, it's not just a mindset convincing or brainwashing. It's a choice. That's all I have to say on the matter. This is Onyx, and I'm gone.
No one will understand this experience as a black woman, but it is so unexpectedly exhausting. What I mean by that is, as soon as I start to chill, as soon as I'm like, all right, relaxing, some bullshit comes around, and it's like, Today I was at the mall trying to find a dress for this brand event that I have tomorrow, and I'm strolling, enjoying myself on my phone, just, living life, being a black woman and just existing. A guy comes up to me, and he was a man of color. Not saying what color, but he was a POC. He's like talking to me, and I'm obviously like not really giving a fuck, to be completely honest, because it's clear that he's trying to hit on me. And before I get any comments being like, he may not want to hit on you, like your ego is too big, blah, blah, blah. He came up to me and said, I just wanted to let you know you're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's this conversation. Now, of course, one thing you guys have to remember as a woman, specifically as a black woman, you have to be careful on how you reject people, because men like to be dangerous. That's the nicest way I can put it. But then this man fixes his lips to say to my face, I just saw you and suddenly I just started craving chocolate. At that point, I'm like, I don't know if I should laugh or just like punch you in the face, because what? Like, that's actually crazy. What fixed your lips to say that to me? A stranger. Which is why I say, and I feel like no other race can experience this the way that a black woman does. It's unexpectedly tiring, because as soon as you let your guard down, and as soon as you're comfortable, somebody tells you you got them craving chocolate.
First of all, let me start this by saying being black is hard. We don't only have white people gunning for us. I just got to be clear on that. Like, I do not want non-black people that are not white to feel like they're off the hook. The racist email that I got at my school saying that the person didn't feel comfortable giving a presentation with me in the classroom because they were threatened by a black presence, it came from an Asian man, okay? The classmate of mine who said that she dreamt of whispering the N-word into a black man's ear as she was climaxing, yeah, she was Indian. The classmate of mine I had to argue with up and down that non-black people shouldn't say the N-word. She was Latino. She was a brown Latino person. Y'all are not off the hook. Don't celebrate too fast.
People be like, pressure builds diamonds. It builds diamonds. It also builds villains. And this right here is my origin story.
Being black in Florida is a roller coaster ride that I wish I could get off of. In addition to anti-blackness from white people, which I've come to expect, Hispanic people, which I don't understand, and black people, there are no safe spaces. I live in a guard-gated community. 24 hours a day, there's supposed to be a guard there controlling access to the community through the non-resident side. All of these individuals are black. I came into the neighborhood at 2 a.m. Monday morning, and the guardhouse was completely abandoned. There was no one there. Both gates were wide open, and I didn't think anything of it because the gate is nothing that gives me any sense of security whatsoever. That's the type of thing I let my neighbors complain about. Later on that day, when I came back, the guard was there, but the resident's side seemed to be having some sort of a malfunction. There was a car in front of me, and she was repositioning herself, trying to get her transponder to work. And then eventually the guard pressed a button, opened the arm, and that person was allowed to enter into the neighborhood. When it was my turn to come into the neighborhood, I kind of crept up because I assumed that there was something going on with the transponders. That's nothing new. It has happened before, but my transponder has always worked. So I get close to the gate. It doesn't open for me either. I back up, I reposition myself, I do what I can do with the space that I have, but it's becoming clear that the gate is not working. The guard yells at me and tells me that I need to back up and figure out a way to come in through the non-resident side. And I said, no, I'm a resident. Not only was the non-resident side backed up, but you just let someone in front of me. So she goes, well, I don't know if you live here. And I said, I'm telling you I live here. And she said, well, I'm not letting you in. I rolled up my window because, baby, you don't know about me. I just came from Chick-fil-A. I have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. I have my orange juice. I rolled up my window, turned on my music, put my strawberry jelly on my sandwich, and ate my sandwich in peace. Because if you think I'm going to let you, a non-resident, check me, a resident, in my neighborhood where I pay HOA assessments, you must have lost your cotton-picking mind.
Now, I want to say credit to everyone on that video, right? I feel their pains. Honestly, when I was compiling these videos, I was crying. I was so filled with pains. It was so hurtful. I was just aggressive because, you know, I know what it feels. Even though I've not really been in that position, but I know how it will look like if I'm in that position, right? But whatever it is, I want you to know that it's because you're chosen. The journey is never easy. It is not for the faint-hearted. It's for the strong. And that is why you are chosen, right? You are chosen for a time as this. That is it. I don't like it when I see a lot of people crying. Oh, I don't know being black can be this way. I don't know why being black can be this way. No, please. We will choose this any time of our life, any time of our lifetimes. If there are more, we will still choose this. And we don't care. Knowing fully well that we are the real human beings. Don't be scared tomorrow and people come out to tell you that the whites are actually man-made. Don't be shocked, right? All we know is we believe that we are the chosen ones, and that is why we are facing what you're facing, be it in the working place, be it at the store, be it in the hospital, anywhere. It will never come easy. It will never be easy. The thing is, it will never be easy. But those days that it gets so hard like this, let me talk to you as your sister. I would want you to actually take some time and rest. Probably read a book. If you want to cry, you're fine. You're free. You're free to do that, right? You can shed one or two few tears and then continue to affirm that you understand? You are God's mighty handwork, right? Continue to tell yourself you're beautiful, you're special, you're chosen, and that is why you're going through what you're going through. Nobody should make you see yourself less. I am telling you, there is no amount of white people in this world that will make me feel less. Honestly, I will wear being black as very, very prideful, that even them want to be black. So when I see people cry that it's hard, I'm like, then if you're crying that it's hard, why are you saying you want to be it? You want to be it anytime and any day. You want to be it forever and ever. Then why are you crying? Please embody it. That is who you are. And that is who we are. We are proud of it. Right? I don't know how you feel listening to me, but if you feel some type of release or relief listening to these words of mine, I want to see it in the comment section. Do not forget to share this video as well. Somebody might also need it. Right? Especially the biracials. They will also need this video. I will be back next time. Peace. We are the best. Bye.